Have you ever loved someone so deeply that you were willing to risk everything, even when the world told you it was wrong? In 2017, in the quiet streets of Charleston, South Carolina, a love story began that would challenge every rule, every moral line, and every heartbeat of those involved. This isn't just a story about passion. It's a story of betrayal, heartbreak, and the unexpected road to healing that followed. Disclaimer: this is dramatic content for awareness and discussion only. Meet Lila, a young woman in her late 20s whose life seemed perfect on the surface. A stable career in interior design, a loving family, and a fiancé who promised commitment and security. But behind the carefully crafted veneer of her world lay a secret that threatened to unravel everything she had built. Then came Adrian, an old friend recently returned from overseas, a magnetic, unpredictable force that ignited a forbidden spark in her heart. What began as innocent conversations soon became a dangerous, consuming passion, one that neither Lila nor Adrian could deny. Every stolen moment, every whispered promise pulled her further away from the life she knew and closer to a truth that could destroy her world. It started subtly, almost imperceptibly. Lila would find herself thinking of Adrian during mundane moments, while arranging flowers for a client, walking through Charleston's historic district, even while talking to her fiancé, David. The guilt gnawed at her, but the pull toward Adrian was undeniable, intoxicating, and utterly consuming. By autumn 2017, their connection had crossed invisible boundaries that society, morality, and her own conscience tried to uphold. Adrian, too, was haunted by the same impossibility. Each encounter carried a thrill and a danger, and yet, despite knowing the risks, they continued. Secret dinners, late-night calls, and brief, desperate touches in darkened corners became their world. Every smile from David became a pang of guilt, every loving gesture a reminder of the life she risked losing. Lila's internal struggle intensified. Her heart was divided, her soul stretched thin, and the fear of being discovered loomed like a storm cloud ready to break. But nothing could prepare her for the night everything changed. It began with a simple message from David, asking Lila to meet him at their favorite cafe. What seemed innocent spiraled into confrontation. Questions she couldn't answer, tears she couldn't hold back, and a confession that would shatter the illusion of her carefully constructed life. The storm had arrived. As the reality of betrayal sunk in, Lila faced a choice. Continue down a path of secrecy and lies, or confront the consequences and seek a road to healing that would require unimaginable courage. Could she face David, Adrian, and herself honestly? Could forgiveness ever be possible, and was it even worth pursuing after such heartbreak? What would Lila do next? Would she run from the truth, or would she find the strength to face the storm she helped create? As Emma walked along the familiar path to her apartment that evening, every step felt heavier than the last. The betrayal she had discovered weeks ago still echoed through her mind like a relentless storm. James, the man she had trusted with her heart, had been hiding secrets she could never have imagined. Secrets that now threatened to unravel the life she had meticulously built for herself. Emma's thoughts wandered back to the first time she met James at that quaint little coffee shop tucked away near King Street. It was 2015, and the city was alive with the colors of early spring. She remembered the warmth in his eyes, the easy charm in his laughter, and the way he had made her feel like she was the only person in the world who mattered. She had believed in the purity of their connection, in the destiny that had brought them together. But destiny, she was learning, could sometimes be a cruel trickster. The betrayal wasn't just a fleeting mistake. It was a calculated deception that cut deeper than any argument or heartbreak she had ever known. Emma had discovered messages, late-night calls, and meetings that James had never confessed to. Each revelation was like a jagged shard piercing her heart, leaving her questioning every smile, every touch, and every promise they had ever shared. The man she loved, The man she had believed in with every fiber of her being had been living a parallel life, a life that excluded her entirely. Yet, amid the turmoil, a flicker of clarity began to emerge. Emma realized that betrayal, as devastating as it was, could also serve as a catalyst for self-discovery. The pain forced her to confront her own desires, boundaries, and the kind of love she truly deserved. Was it possible that this betrayal, which had felt like the end of her world, could actually be the beginning of something transformative? Could the heartbreak that had left her reeling also pave a path to healing, self-respect, and a future where trust could be rebuilt, not necessarily with James, but with herself? As the rain fell harder, Emma made a decision that would change the trajectory of her life forever. She would face the truth, embrace the pain, and take the first steps on the road to healing. But little did she know, the journey ahead would test her in ways she could never anticipate, forcing her to confront not only James, but the very essence of love, loyalty, and forgiveness. Could Emma truly find the strength to reclaim her life and her heart after such betrayal? What unexpected turns would this road to healing take, and could forgiveness ever be possible? Stay with us as the next chapter unravels the deepest secrets of the heart. The days following Emma's revelation were an exhausting mix of anger, sorrow, and hesitant reflection. Each morning felt like waking into a world that no longer recognized her. She went through the motions at work, spoke politely to colleagues, and smiled when necessary. But beneath the surface, an inner storm raged on. The betrayal by James was not just about infidelity, it was about trust shattered, dreams questioned, and a future she had imagined crumbling before her eyes. Emma's friends tried to offer comfort. Sarah, her closest confidant since college, often reminded her, "You are stronger than you realize, Emma. This pain, as intense as it is, can be the start of something better." But words alone couldn't pierce the dense fog of heartbreak. Emma needed to confront James directly, to face the man who had simultaneously been the source of her deepest joy and the architect of her most profound pain. The confrontation was inevitable. When James opened the door, his eyes held a mixture of guilt and defensiveness. He had expected anger, tears, maybe even forgiveness, but not the quiet intensity that radiated from Emma. She spoke calmly, each word deliberate. "I trusted you, James, and you betrayed that trust. I need to understand why." James faltered, then confessed, revealing details of a secret life that went far beyond mere indiscretions. It was a network of lies carefully constructed over months, hiding intentions he claimed were rooted in fear and insecurity. But for Emma, the excuses only amplified the heartbreak. Every explanation felt like salt on an already raw wound, yet a part of her knew that understanding the full truth was the only path toward closure. In the solitude of these walks, Emma began to notice subtle shifts within herself. Anger, while still present, was no longer consuming. Grief was tempered with newfound clarity. She started to journal, pouring out thoughts and emotions she had suppressed for too long. Through writing, she confronted not only James's betrayal, but also her own vulnerabilities, recognizing patterns of dependency, denial, and unspoken compromises that had made her susceptible to such heartbreak. Could it be that healing was less about forgiving James and more about reclaiming herself? Each step she took along the pier felt symbolic of her internal journey, moving away from what had hurt her and inching closer to a version of herself she hadn't seen in years, strong, self-aware, and capable of love that respected her worth. What ultimate choices would Emma make when the final truth about James's actions came to light? Could she reconcile her desire for justice with her longing for peace, or would this betrayal define her forever? The following chapter promises revelations that will challenge everything Emma thought she knew. The final revelation about James hit like a storm she had long anticipated but never fully prepared for. Friends and family had warned her, but hearing it directly from the people involved made it painfully real. James's betrayal wasn't only personal. It had ripple effects that threatened to touch everyone Emma cared about. Friends she had trusted were implicated. Choices she had made in ignorance suddenly seemed naive, and the safety of her emotional world felt tenuous. Yet, amidst the chaos, Emma felt an unexpected clarity. She realized that forgiveness wasn't about excusing James's actions. It wasn't about letting him off the hook. Instead, it was about freeing herself from the chains of resentment, guilt, and emotional turmoil that had bound her for months. In a private journal, she wrote, "I cannot change the past, but I can reclaim my life, my joy, and my choices. Healing is mine to own, not his to dictate." Emma made the conscious decision to sever the toxic ties that threatened her mental and emotional well-being. She confronted James one final time, not with anger or tears, but with a quiet dignity that left him speechless. "This ends here," she said, her voice steady. "I am choosing myself, my peace, and my future." In the weeks that followed, Emma found herself reconnecting with old passions, painting, evening walks in the park, volunteering at the community center. Each act was a declaration of independence, a reclamation of a life nearly lost to deceit and heartbreak. She realized that betrayal, while devastating, had become a catalyst for self-discovery. What once felt like the end of the world was, paradoxically, the beginning of a stronger, more authentic existence. The story doesn't end with vengeance or despair. Instead, it concludes with empowerment. Emma's journey underscores the truth that pain, when faced head-on, can transform into resilience. Betrayal can break trust, but it cannot break the human spirit. The question now lingers. Could you find your strength if someone you loved most shattered your world? Would you choose revenge, despair, or the harder, more courageous path of healing and self-love? If this story has moved you, comment, "Healing begins." Share this emotional journey with those who need it. Subscribe to Taboo Romance Stories TVc and turn on the notification bell. Let Emma's story remind us all that even the deepest betrayals can become the road to healing, if only we have the courage to walk it.